Hi luxurious queens and vintage collectors, welcome back to my channel, and today I will be discussing something quite interesting, which is authenticating this super vintage Hermes bag and talking about the Hermes blind stamps or date stamps. If there isn't one on your bag, does it mean it is inauthentic? Well, watch on to find out. For any of you who have by chance clicked on this video, hello, my name is Lokie and I welcome you here to learn more about vintage luxury, pre-loved, leathers and everything in between. I would love if you would click on that subscribe button and join my corner. And for those of you returning, I appreciate you time and again and thank you for supporting me. Without further ado, let's look at my Hermes bag from the era 1922 to 1944 and dive deep into some Hermes history. This beautiful Hermes document folder is a gem of a find I thrifted at a trash and treasure market in Paris about 10 years ago. For those of you who missed that video, I will link it up here for your reference and pop the link in the description section below. I did mention about the basic features of this bag in the video, but today I will be authenticating it with you and explain some of the history that goes along with the Hermes blind stamp. First and foremost, on close scrutiny, when I dusted this bag out of storage, I have noticed that it is missing any date stamps or blind stamps. Well, blind stamps are named blind stamps for the pure purpose of being hidden. The blind stamps or date stamps are meant to correspond with the year of manufacture of that item. In addition to date stamps or blind stamps, there is an additional stamp next to it which indicates the workshop where the bag craftsman works from, or even, as I know, the craftsman's identity stamp. But today we will be focusing on just the blind stamp or date stamp alone. So without the blind stamp, does this mean that this bag is inauthentic? But wait, let's go back in history and learn how all of this started. Hermes first founded their leather goods department in 1922. During this period, there was no such thing as blind stamps or date stamps, as there was no such system at the time. In fact, this period was called the First Era. Blind stamps were only introduced in the Second Era, which started from 1945 onwards. And how did they do that? Well, nothing more simple than the alphabet A. Of course, running through the alphabets from A to Z, the Third Era was then started when they ran out of alphabets, and hence the variation of a circle around the A was created. So this A with the circle around marks the start of the Third Era, and this would run from the years 1971 to 1996. After which, the circle was then changed to a square around the A, which forms the Fourth Era, which we use to identify bags from the year 1997 to 2014. Leather products from the years 2015 onwards will feature a stamp with a string of alphabets, wherein the first alphabet is the date stamp, followed by the craftsman stamp, where there is no particular method to decipher it now. Now, going by what I have shared, this document folder without the blind stamp could possibly mean, number one, it is inauthentic, or number two, it was made in the years 1922 to 1944 before blind stamps were invented. Now, how I am going to authenticate this is to further look at the Hermes stamp. I am going to show you up close, so have a close scrutiny. Alright. Now, did you notice that the Hermes wording does not have the accent over the second E? Now look again if you didn't catch it the first time. From my research, older vintage bags and accessories do not have that accent. Now, just one more thing about the stamp. Did you also notice that it is just stamped Hermes Paris instead of Hermes Paris made in France? Now, have a look again. Okay, well, one interesting fact is that older bags made before 1965 are simply stamped Hermes Paris, and it is only after the year 1965 that the Made in France was added. Now let's look at the zipper pull. This picture was taken from Purse Forum, and it is a picture of the prototype zipper that Hermes brought back to France. If you zoom in, the writing on the book says it is an éclair zipper. Now let's look at the zipper on our document folder, and what do you find? So it says éclair on the tab. In terms of authenticating the zip, you must know that zips in bags were introduced by Hermes in 1922, and the fermeture éclair, also known as zip or zip fastener, were used since the year 1922 up until 1970s or 1980s. Another fun fact about the Hermes zippers are that these H zipper stops, which is the H alphabet you see at the end of the zip line, was first appeared in 2001 and are not found in all bags. I would guess most of you will be running to your vintage bags right now to check it out. Next, let's scrutinize the stitchings. So Hermes leather goods are always stitched and never glued. So just looking at some examples, so this would be the flip side, which is the interior, and so this is stitched really well. And one more thing is that the Hermes stitch is the saddle stitch, which is slanted slightly upwards. So if you look here, like a good example would be this is slightly slanted slightly upwards, and you can see this stitchings on the interior and both the interior and exterior. There you go. Of my document folder, and we can confirm that it is a good example of the saddle stitch. Well, authenticating a leather good, especially a vintage one, would definitely require close scrutiny and lots of investigations like this. As we have learned, it doesn't mean that if the item does not come with a blind stamp, it is inauthentic. I would advise you to look for more clues in your leather goods, and you will learn more about its origins. So far, given all the clues and pointers I have discussed, I can safely say that this is an authentic, original Hermes product from the period 1922 to 1944. I thank you once again for watching and supporting, and I hope you have learned lots in this video. Do like and subscribe to my channel if you have enjoyed content like this, and hit that notification bell to get first updates of new videos. Take care and have a joyous week, luxurious queens. Goodbye!